Okay, the Citizens Involvement Committee meeting for Monday, February 5th, 2024 is now called to order. Dennis, would you call the roll, please?
Yes. February 5th, Kanema, Linda.
Present.
I'm present. Caulfield, Dan is absent. Elyville, Carla.
Here.
Dee Dee.
Here.
No rep for Gaffney Lane, no rep for Hazel Grove. Hillendale, we have Josh on Zoom. Josh.
Here.
And Sarah. Denise from McLaughlin.
Here.
And Will.
Here.
Yes. Park Place, Steve.
Here.
And Bob is here. Do we have Emily on Zoom? Maybe? No. I think that does it.
Okay, thank you, Dennis. Our first presentation today will be by Juliana Allen from the Downtown Oregon City Association. Come right on up.
Okay. Where do I go?
Right here.
Right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I bring a chair up there?
Oh, there's no chairs? Yeah, bring a chair.
It's like that feels very awkward to not do that.
Yeah.
So, and your speakers are on. Oh, perfect. I'll
This
stop shouting.
committee, we try to make you as uncomfortable as we can.
That's
so-
fine. I mean, I was game. I just think this might be a little more comfortable for everybody. So, hi, everybody. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me here. This is my first time at this meeting, so I am excited to be here and looking forward to getting to know you all and just hearing what you all want to know about the Downtown Association. So I'll just give you a little bit of a background. I started in this role as the executive director back in September. Prior to that, I ran a business on Main Street for the last 5 years. I shut it down because it was, time. It was time. And then I started at this role in September. My whole goal is to build the community and cultivate the commerce in our downtown area. So since beginning in that role, we focused heavily on doing a different events calendar for the upcoming year and really trying to build relationships with our business owners and our community just to really get people re-engaged back in the mission and the vision of our downtown. So it has been a whirlwind of the last 6 months, but I'm getting settled and I'm excited to see what the future holds for Oregon City and specifically for the downtown. So I want to use this time to just give you a little bit of an update on the things that we're doing in the upcoming year and then leave time for anyone to ask me any questions about what's going on, our event calendar, anything related to the downtown. I am happy to provide the information that I know. So our goal with downtown, our mission is to cultivate community and to cultivate commerce in the district. So we're doing that via our events, doing our outreach and trying to get economic vitality and designing our downtown to look more vibrant and more beautiful. So we're doing that through our events calendar that we have for 2024, events calendar up for 2024. And we're focused on just really highlighting our business district and trying to bring in our community into our downtown. So is there anything specific that I can answer for you guys about what we're doing or what's going on in the district? Yes, Dorothy.
Is this me? I'm not sure if this is me or not. My name is Dee Dee. I'm with the Elyville neighborhood, and I was wondering what the Downtown Association is doing addressing the homeless referral center that's going to go into the Miles Fiberglass, or proposing to go into the Miles Fiberglass area. I know that we've gotten flyers all over Oregon City delivered to our homes personally, so there's obviously a vested interest because they're paying people to do this.
Yeah.
How do you feel this is going to deal with our downtown association and the livability and shoppability down there?
Yeah, it is.
Having a business in Old Town Portland for 18 years, second in Ash.
Yeah, for lack of a better word, it'll be interesting. I really don't know how it's going to go, and I don't think anybody really does. And my role is to advocate for the businesses. And so whatever the businesses are saying to me is what I'm trying to bring to the city and bring awareness to. And in full disclosure, our businesses are very concerned about it. So I'm doing the best that I can to advocate for them. It's a really tough situation because everybody agrees that something has to be done. That's not what people are talking about,
Totally
right?
understand that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
the question is that I'm getting asked a lot is why downtown? That seems to be the sticking point for people. Not that it shouldn't exist, but that the location is what people are concerned about, and it is a completely valid concern. And
It's the only thing I'm worried about is the location. It should be up on
I know.
top of the hill. By my home up there.
Yeah, it's-
Where the services are. But again, I just was wondering what the association was doing. You don't have to use up all this time on that.
No, it's okay. It's a question that I get asked a lot.
It's going to hit you guys most, and it'll affect all the property values.
I know. It is a conversation I believe I have most days. So one of my biggest agenda items has been to just talk to business owners, talk to the staff, talk to as many people as I can, right? So I will take a walk every day, right, around that district, and whoever's out, like, come on, talk to me. And that is a conversation that I do have most days, and a lot of business owners are they're concerned, and rightfully so. And the reality is we don't know. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't really know. And so I'm just trying to advocate for the business owners. And
Okay, I appreciate it.
yeah, you're not the best answer, but yeah, I wish I knew more, Yeah.
So on the flip side, I'm also love the Space Invaders games that have been going on the weekends. It was bopping down there. So you can come and play Space Invaders on the elevator on Fridays and Saturdays right now. And it's the downtown was super busy on Friday. It was
That's
great.
exciting
It was
to me. When I
really,
saw that, I'm very excited.
it was great. On the flip side, I'm worried about what happens when the courthouse closes. So I'm kind of seeing the, perhaps that the Homeless Referral Center will bring in people who need to eat and who need to go and, there's going to be staff working there. So I'm hoping that kind of counterbalances maybe some of, what'll happen when the courthouse moves out. That's a tricky, I think that's what my husband and I are kind of
That's-
so I'm hoping there's a silver lining.
Yeah, that's another conversation I have multiple times every day is this
Yeah.
courthouse, because it's hard because the people that it directly is going to impact and the people that are going to feel it the most are our businesses.
Right.
Our restaurants, our coffee shops, our retail shops that count on that daily traffic. And that is a very high on my radar because it's easy to see, it's easy to not look at it. To say, oh, it'll be fine. But the reality is who's it going to impact first? Coffee Rush. Who's it going to impact first? Nebbiolo. Any of these businesses that rely on that foot traffic every day. So that is it's concerning. It is absolutely concerning. And so, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's very high on my radar, though. And again, it's like I have two conversations. Well, three. No, I'm waiting for the third question. That's probably going to be the other conversation I have most days. Yeah. Hey, how did you know? Yeah, so those are conversations I have most days, and they continue to be very high on the radar. And unfortunately, they don't have simple or easy solutions. And so it's just a matter of keep talking and keep trying to advocate as best as we can for the businesses and for the people that are coming into our downtown.
Linda?
The question I have, I was down on Main Street, probably on a Saturday or Sunday very recently, and I was noticing trash, garbage. And it was a weekend, so no one was there to pick it up. So is there someone who does the Sunday, Saturday?
Yeah, we actually have a clean team. They're part-time. We have it staffed part-time right now, but that was just reinstated in November, I believe it was. So we do have somebody coming in every day of the week to pick up trash downtown. And it's a big district. I think it's easy to forget how big our district is. And, they're there only 4 hours a day. That's what we could afford for staffing. But we do absolutely have someone downtown. And it is, during the ice storm, a couple of weeks ago, none of us could get in for a week, basically. And it was interesting going back on that Monday, like it was noticeable that nobody had been downtown for a week doing the clean team. So I am very fortunate to have that team. We have a great, our elevator staff is wonderful, our clean team staff is wonderful. We've got a really solid team right now. And if you ever notice like an area that needs special attention, just holler at the elevator and they'll holler at me and I'll holler at them because it's just a big district. They're up all the way from corner 14 all the way down to 5th and Main. So it's one person 4 hours a day. So there will be things that they miss. But yeah, if there's ever an issue, just holler. Yeah.
Can you tell us what some of the activities you have planned for next summer? I know that there used to be, I think, an antique fair that they used to sponsor.
Maisie Mays is doing that. They do that in August, I believe. They're one of our local businesses. They do a lot of vintage antiques. So they have a market every August. So we are doing a wine and arts walk in May, which I'm very excited about. And then we are doing First City, which we all know First City celebration. And another one, we are doing concerts in our plaza, crossing our fingers. We're still waiting on the final to get all the permits situated from the county. But every Wednesday evening, we're going to have a little band out in the plaza just to try to get people down there on a night that is not typically very busy for our restaurants and our retailers. So again, our focus is to get people downtown, get people into our businesses, get people eating and drinking and shopping in our district. The concerts are going to be in every Wednesday night in July and August. And then First City is the 27th of July. So it's a Saturday, fourth one. Again, permits pending. Like, I've emailed like 3 times, so anyone knows the county, let me know, because I need the permits right now. But yes.
Any other questions?
Carla.
Oh, Carla, I'm sorry.
No problem. Couple questions here. First off, what type of businesses would you like to see downtown that aren't currently there? The first question.
Yeah, we're struggling to keep retail. That is the most noticeable, oh my God, that was hard to say. Most noticeable thing that we are missing right now is our retail. I owned a retail business. So my shop and then another retail shop went out actually the same day was our last day. We lost Root and Stem about a year-ish ago. And then we also lost another one. So we've lost 4 retail in the last year and a half. And that is a big concern for me. Our restaurants seem to be doing okay. For the most part, we do have we do have outliers, of course. We just got a wine shop that came in, a little wine tasting room right next to the Verdict. They came in about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago at this point. But retail's really where we're struggling, and that, retail is tough. Like, it is a hard thing to hold on to, especially during this time of year when you're gonna see slower times. But retail is what we really need to get in and what we really need to be supporting right now. And it all flows together, right? Like, you go shop at a little plant store and then you go to lunch. Like, it all really fits together. So my goal is to get the downtown more walkable, more friendly to pedestrians, and just, clean up the streets like we've done with the clean team. Just make it more inviting for people to come and welcoming to see all this happening downtown, so.
And the second thing is what is DOCA's position on, obviously there's ODOT's going to do a walk along, is there excitement possibly about connecting downtown more to the river in some way in the future?
Yeah, that is a good question. I've been meeting with Christine for a couple times. I think I have a meeting with her in a couple of weeks. So it was interesting too, having that conversation with her. She was like, this has been in the works for 25 years. I was like, what? That was very interesting to me. So my understanding is they have multiple plans outlined right now, and now they're in the next phase of the planning process. So I'm very much involved in those conversations and really excited to see what that's going to do. In my opinion, anything that's going to be welcoming and inviting and bring more people downtown is a plus. People that are going to shop, people that are going to eat and drink and meet their friends and just be involved in that community that is down there, because we have such a vibrant, interesting community that we have here in Oregon City. So it's neat to see the variety that we have. Yeah. Yes.
I just recently saw on one of our local merchants that was kind of celebrating their retail business. Was that through you guys? Because it really drew my attention. I thought it was on the city website, but it might not be.
I don't know
But
that one.
It
Yeah.
really drew my attention, wanted me to come on downtown. I went, I check out that store.
Oh,
Just
neat.
saying, it was fairly informative and
That's great.
caught my eye.
We did, Studio Gray just had their 1 year anniversary. That's a little boutique shop. And we told, Ryan works with us, and he did all the filming and everything. So we did a media highlight of Studio Gray. So if that was it, then yes, that was us. If not,
I saw it, I watched it twice.
oh, very neat. I'm going to say it was that then, and then yes, that was us without actually knowing.
Should have shared it.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah, so my goal is to tell the stories of the business owners and the people that work down there. I think that's what really draws people in is, what's the difference between shopping at White Rabbit as opposed to Amazon? It's the people that work there. It's the story behind why they're there. So it's a very tangible thing that Downtown Oregon City Association can do is tell the stories of the businesses. Why did you choose to bring your business to downtown? You could have gone to Lake Oswego. You could have gone to Portland. Like, what made you choose Oregon City? And that is where, to me, that is where the messaging is going to lie for us specifically in getting the word out about our downtown.
Do you coordinate or, I guess, work with any other cities as far as exchanging ideas?
Absolutely. Yeah, so we're part of the Main Street. There's a whole national Main Street organization that we're a part of, and Oregon has a very tight-knit little Main Street organization as well. So yes, I have, absolutely.
Good.
Great conferences, really.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Juliana. That was very informative.
Thank you.
And best of luck on your new position and
Thank you.
moving forward.
Thank you. I'll leave this chair here then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The next on the list was Sam Drevo from Two Rivers. He doesn't seem to be here, but Jerry Herman is here, and he's going to fill us in on
Let me pass this around.
maybe some things are going on with Two Rivers. They're getting up and going again, I think. The last meeting or the meeting before that, they had quite a turnout.
Okay, my name's Jerry Herman. Is this mic working good? Yeah, it is. And I'm a member of the Two Rivers Neighborhood Association, only not as an officer, not as an elected person, just because I always wanted to see that effort to look at the river and the assets all the way from Metro South Transfer Station up the falls, get some consideration. So what I gave to you now, first of all, I'll mention Two Rivers for a second. On Wednesday, we're meeting at a simulated church right next to Tony's Fish Market. I think you know which one it is, the Jason Lee Replica Church, our group, to hear from a couple of developers that are looking at expanding the efforts from the hotel that is going to happen now north toward the depot, which I think you all know where the Amtrak depot is, and another individual that's trying to do something in the downtown core, which is a part of our areas of interest. All right, what I put before you, though, was on Wednesday night, the City of Oregon City is holding a special meeting to look, well, in their conjunction with their regular agenda. Item number 9 is looking at what's called DMO. That's not a virus. DMO is Destination Monitoring Organization or Management Organization, either way. And some examples are, Salem has a DMO, it's called Travel Salem. The state of Oregon has an organization called Travel Oregon. And Astoria has their own DMO, Destination Management. Bend does. Anybody that's trying to do tourism in an organized manner with marketing, figuring out what the assets are, that could play a role in tourism and figuring out what the feeling of the community is about tourism. It's not always good to begin with because people don't know what's going to happen when visitors start coming in. So Astoria, case in point, worked really hard to change their whole attitude from being a resource extraction economy, fishing, and of course log processing and all sorts of mill activities to embrace tourism. It's worked very well for them. On Wednesday, the group of captains I brought in, there's a picture there on the second page of all the vessels. The captains that are going to be there are the people that captain these vessels that you see in that picture. Top picture, Portland Spirit, bigger one. Willamette Star, still a big vessel. Crystal Dolphin, and their heated and enclosed jet boat Explorer. And below on either side is Willamette Queen, which is down in Salem, but has been to Oregon City before. And Vessel Reliant, Motor Vessel Reliant, which is a beautiful, restored, not Navy military looking, just a beautiful teak deck vessel that 3 years ago when Mayor Rachel was your mayor, we took about 40 people out on that for free. Maybe we can do that again for your group. We'd like to do it. One way or the other, those vessels have all visited Oregon City. Oregon City is a river city. I think we'd agree with that. And a falls city. We got a falls. We have two rivers, yes, the Clackamas and the Willamette. We also have another river above the falls called the Tualatin. And Willamette Falls Locks is the key to making those assets kind of work together. This coming June, Motor Vessel Reliant and also Explorer are coming to Oregon City on some church excursions that the churches have asked for that will go to Willamette Falls, nose in the locks. You can't go through the locks yet. Stop at a dock offshore John Storm Park, offshore of the hotel there and so forth. So we are supporting the idea of a DMO if the DMO will look seriously at getting that dock back in service. The dock in front of John Storm, for your information, is one of the biggest docks and the heaviest built dock in Oregon. It's on a fast section of the Willamette, and the Marine Board put some stipulations on it initially. The city never cared about those stipulations, and every one of those vessels that are in those pictures came to that dock. In 2015, the Willamette Star came there 5 times with paying passengers on board that in their ticket price paid for the bus that we had all set up to take them to the 2 museums, Museum of the Oregon Territory and also End of the Oregon Trail. We would have gone to McLaughlin House, but at that time, the National Park Service was doing some things and so forth. But in the ticket price for the vessel tour was the cost of the bus and the cost to give $5 minimum to each museum and $10 to one of them. So our point is, this is a chance for economic development.
Was that per person?
Per person, yes, per person, not for the vessel. So for the Museum of the Oregon Territory, they saw it as economic development because all of a sudden there's 40 people here and they're paying $10 a piece, $400 as an example, into the Oregon Trail, something similar there. So we think that the Destination Management Organization can never ignore the river cities. We are a river city with a locks that's been there since 1863, that's shut down for a while, and people also agree with this. Christine Lewis, our Metro counselor, love to have you talk to her sometime. She'd be a great speaker, by the way. She asked a group of us to come in called the River Assets and Opportunities Task Force. It's been around since 2019, looking at things on the Oregon City side of the river, but also looking at things on the Westland side too. She asked our group to help her last week advocate for commercial uses of the locks and help make that thing functional. Within 2 to 3 years, it will be back in service. Finally, after 12 years, it'll be back, I think, we believe, in service in 2 to 3 years because of the group that she now leads. She was appointed by the governor to lead the Willamette Falls Foundation. And she's, I know, going to do a good job at that. So I just wanted you to be aware of this, and hopefully some of you might want to come to that meeting on Wednesday night. I wish it was earlier on the agenda, Maybe there's some comments that could happen at the beginning, I'm not sure, but Oregon City needs another approach to tourism. It needs to be more professionally orchestrated. The city doesn't really want to do it. They prefer to have an outside group do it. And the cities I mentioned to you, Bend, Lincoln County, Astoria, and others all have DMOs that are really making impact on revenue stream coming in as businesses involved in hospitality and tourism. So if you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them.
I have a
I
question.
think that the city commission had quite a discussion at a work session recently about DMOs, didn't they, Adam? And they brought in some people from other cities to give their input on it. It was quite an interesting meeting.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Dennis, go ahead.
Yeah.
Did I miss the first part? What is the current condition of the docks? I'm just
Say again?
curious. What's the current condition of the docks that you
Okay,
mentioned? you
the
alluded
terms
to?
of the dock are this. This is amazing. This thing is built with 3-foot diameter columns of steel. Most of them are 18 inches, so it's twice the size of most docks because of its location in the river. The terms are, thank you for asking me that, is a vessel 40 tons in weight and no longer than 63 feet. Well, guess what? Every one of those vessels that are in those pictures are bigger than that, and they've all been to that dock. Now, they used to be there routinely, but that's stopped. And so one of the things we asked Metro to do, or I shouldn't say Metro, Willamette Falls Locks Foundation, that dock was built for vessels 26 feet and bigger that couldn't be trailered on the road, so they could stay there up to 72 hours as they came up to use Willamette Falls Locks. The federal grant built that dock. So we're asking Christine Lewis to advocate for us to get with the Marine Board, not us, the city, to get with the Marine Board and other people that have concerns. If you need an engineer to tell you it's great, I can tell you the engineers have already told all of us that it's more than adequate to handle big vessels. Somebody said the Queen Mary, but that's too big. Portland Spirit, though, is pretty big, and it would handle that just fine, too. The war canoe, some of you might remember the war canoe from years ago. The war canoe is 65 feet long. It couldn't dock there legally. It's not more than about 4 tons in weight, but legally it couldn't dock there. So we're asking that for the sake of at least river-based tourism, that the dock issue be solved. Your city, this city, wants it to be solved. And West Lynn now has joined our River Assets and Opportunity Task Force with their manager and their city mayor, because they see things that we could help them with on their side of the river too. But we have a real opportunity. That dock, nobody goes there. You look at it, nobody's there, ever. So,
Is it accessible now with the bridge construction?
I'm sorry.
Can you get to the dock now with the bridge construction?
Well, yes, you can. And by the way, the bridge people, ODOT and associated contractors had to keep access to that dock for tourism purposes. When we were working hard to get the dock reopened as best we could as citizens, ODOT called me up. They said, we want to hear what your concerns are about that dock. I said, we don't want to see that dock impeded by the river work you're doing with the bridge. They said, well, no, we can't do that. The hotel and that dock cannot be impeded in any way, shape, or form. So the bridge is not affecting it at all, except for the construction that's going on there. And the pile driving has ended. It's a little quieter.
Okay, Denise?
Well, thank you very much.
I have a question for you.
Question there.
Oh,
I have a question over here. Do you know if the big sailing ships like the Lady Washington or the Hawaiian Chieftain would be able to dock there?
I'm so sorry. I got a cold and I can't hear too well. What was that?
See if this works better. Could the sailing ships, the Hawaiian Chieftain or the Lady Washington, dock there? And also, could they make it up this far?
Well, if your question is about the types of vessels that could be there, is that what I heard?
I think she's talking about the Rose Fleet.
The
You're not?
Rose Festival?
No. These are sailing ships. They're the big,
We'd love the Roast Festival.
okay, never mind.
I'm sorry, just before I leave, John Williams, you knew John Williams, your former mayor, he died in November. John had a dream, and John really cared about navigation. He and his wife sailed all the way around the world in a handmade trimaran that they built, and he said to me, what can we do to get the Sternwheeler Portland to Oregon City? I said, what? The Sternwheeler Portland, 250 feet long, beautiful vessel. And he said, I know the man that's in charge of that vessel. He was a colonel. John was a Marine Corps colonel. And the other gentleman was a major. He said, I went to him and talked to him about the Sternwheeler Portland. The Sternwheeler Portland is docked in a terrible part of Portland, right down by the Burnside Bridge. You can't see it from NATO Parkway. You can see it from the other side, but you really can't. And they don't like their location. So John was asked to look into the depths of the river at that dock. Okay, well, the depths of the river at that dock are not deep enough, but just above John Storm Park dock was an old log dump right there as a part of John Storm Park. And John said, I'm going to pay for this if I have to pay for it out of my own pocket. And he got a underwater study done with all the depths, and they were ready to come to Oregon City with that vessel. But they were hoping that they could still operate and navigate. Well, that's pretty hard to do. It's a steam-powered vessel, and you have to have a steam captain. There are not too many of those around anymore. So, but they're still looking for a way to do something. Can you think about that for a minute? Beautiful vessel like that, you'd see it coming across 205 on 99E. Each deck is full of exhibits. It's just remarkable. So, that was John's dream, and I tried to help him with it. I'm not even going to say it's not going to happen. It could happen if we had a little bit of vision about the whole thing. But that vessel can't move anymore. It could come up, stay here, but not go on evolutions because it's just too difficult to navigate a big vessel like that. It could stay here as a static exhibit. So anyway, thank you all.
Thank you, Jerry. Our next presentation is from Hannah about the Spring Forward event.
Yes. So, on March 9th, Saturday, March 9th, which is the day before everyone resets their clocks to be able to spring forward, the City of Oregon City is hosting a Spring Forward event. This was previously known as the Spring Resource Fair, and it came about because the governor signed on to a specific designation for, I believe it was Learning About Butterflies Day, National Learning About Butterflies Day. And so then the city decided to put together something to kind of celebrate environmentalism. This year we wanted to extend it not just to environmental organizations, but also cultural resources, community resources, and nonprofits that offer volunteer opportunities. So more of a community building event. There's going to be a variety of nonprofits there to be able to table, and I thought this would be a really great opportunity for the neighborhood associations to show up and kind of explain who you are, what you are, and then especially get them signed up for those subscription emails so that you can have more people be able to attend your neighborhood association events. So I have heard from Dee Dee, and I have heard from Denise about being interested in tabling this event. Are there any other neighborhood associations besides McLaughlin and Elyville that would like to participate?
And Oregon City Parks Foundation.
Yes, that's right.
You're 3 tables strong so far.
We can talk about it.
Okay.
Oops, we have a meeting coming up, we'll talk about it, and then we can let you know. Okay.
Perfect. I will be attending your meeting because
I
your
know
chair
you will.
reached out to
I
me.
know.
So I can talk about it at your meeting as well, if that would be helpful.
Would this be set up as a CIC
So that's what.
booth, or would it be separate booths for each neighborhood?
So Originally, I thought one table for the CIC, but after talking with Dee Dee, we have individual card tables that are a little bit smaller that each neighborhood association could represent. That way they could have their own materials that they display. And then I have plans to be able to have a TV monitor in the back for the neighborhood associations who can attend. So we can post up that visualization of the neighborhood with those QR codes so people can come by and still can scan those QR codes. Okay.
We will, yeah.
Yeah.
Bring it up, yeah.
And if you can't attend, we will still be sure to have that information up. And I'm sure I'll be there so I can talk around with people.
Trail. That's so exciting.
And then the other neighborhood associations who are there, I'm sure would be happy to assist people who are from different neighborhood associations to sign up for their specific email subscriptions. Okay, any other questions?
How are you doing on getting those QR codes? Do you have quite a few from every neighborhood, or how are you able to sort them out? Can you give us how many have signed up for different neighborhoods?
Yes, so I created a staff report for this meeting, and in the back, there is a way to be able to track the metrics. So for Kanema, you have had 6 new contacts in the last month from December 23rd is when I first initially started looking into it, and then from a month from then, January 23rd, you gained 6. The neighborhood who had the best engagement was Parks Place. So Parks Place had 18 signups, but that was an in-between weird time too, because that was probably a week or so after the utility bill went out, and that's what had the information for people to be able to sign up for those subscriptions. So hopefully we'll see another jump after the Spring Forward event as well.
Well, that sounds pretty good though, for Kanema being such a shrimp.
Wait a minute.
Okay, so Kanema had 6 new contacts. Caulfield had 9. Elyville had 7. Gaffney Lane, which is inactive, had 5. Hazel Grove had 3. Hillendale and Tower Vista had 5. McLaughlin Neighborhood had 7. Parks Place 18. Rivercrest had 5, South End had 8, and Two Rivers had 7. Yeah.
So are these new contacts, are they just checking out the dates that our meetings are, or are they asking any questions? Is there any way we can contact them and invite them personally to our meetings, or are they on our mailing list now?
They're on a mailing list that's operated through a MailChimp. So that's like a server to be able to send out mass emails, and that's owned by the city. And that list was initially generated from the utility bill emails. So that is private information. That's like personal protective identification information. So I can't give you the email list that I have for each individual neighborhood association. But what I've done with, I forget which neighborhood association it was. I reached out, one of the secretaries from one of your neighborhood associations reached out to me, Park Place, yeah, Linda. And I did a double cross. So I ran the email list that she already had with mine to see if there was any double emailing going on. That way she didn't have to send out emails about neighborhood associations anymore. And I can give a better update on all the updates that have happened since I've started.
Do you want to talk to Joy about it?
Very good.
Good.
Any other questions? Carla?
It was suggested to me recently by someone I know here to possibly, obviously the email people are inquiring, for possibly the chair to be able to write a personal note to the people who inquired and then be able to pass that on to them about an invitation.
I think that would be a great idea. The emails it's a subscription list. I send out notifications about the upcoming emails, but if you want to do like monthly newsletters or anything else, I'm more than open to being able to talk to any of you about what kind of content you want to put out there. But I think that would be a great idea.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Hannah. Okay, can I have a drum roll or something? me, I forgot to ask for public comments.
Oh,
Did the gentleman in the back want to say anything? Okay, so we're home free for public comments. So at this time, I'll read you out of our bylaws, which are not on the city website. Hannah, can you give any pressure on those people? I've been talking about the lack of bylaws
That are up on the,
city website for months.
I can directly do that.
Not only the CIC, but all of the neighborhood associations and probably every other committee in the city.
I will talk about neighborhood association records and the staff update, but I will definitely, that's more than possible for me to be able to upload the bylaws.
Well, I hope so, because tonight is a very good example. What's in the city website is not adequate to address how we go about elections. You have to have the bylaws to find that out, and I happen to have a copy of them, or we wouldn't be able to conduct a proper election. Anyway, the bylaws say any member may run for a vacant office by declaring their intention to do so, or may be nominated by any other member of the CIC. Elections shall be held by a raise of hands, and the results will be announced to the membership at the same general meeting as the election. Newly elected officers will take their positions the first day of the month following elections. The following procedures will not be allowed: any vote by proxy, any absentee vote, any vote by mail, any secret ballot. It says here any electronic vote, but under our new laws, Zoom would be, I guess, an electronic vote, and that is allowed, or any telephonic vote by the members. Oh, here, if a meeting is held online, which all of our are now, electronic and telephone voting is allowed. So that's the rules. We'll be electing chair, vice chair, and secretary. And at this time, I'll take nominations for the chair.
didn't we do chair already?
That was done last time.
No, I gave an opportunity for people that would possibly be nominated to speak their mind about why they should be voted on. That was not an official nomination.
Oh,
So I'm having official nominations tonight. So are there any nominations for chair? Dennis,
I nominate Linda Basinger for chair.
any other nominations?
trying to check with Josh, make sure he's still interested. He has a travel schedule that might interfere. Josh, are you still in?
Still here.
Hey, I'm here. Yeah, it looks like my travel schedule this year probably is not going to be conducive to being able to chair, unfortunately.
Okay. Any other nominations for chair? Okay, at this time, we'll have
It's a groundswell.
We'll have the elections for chair. All in favor of, and I'm only here to break a tie if that happens. Anybody in favor of Linda Basinger, please raise your hands.
Well, yeah.
Dennis, you have to keep the,
And who is the other person?
Score,
yeah,
yes. It's one.
Who is the other person?
There isn't.
Oh,
There isn't.
oh, there you go.
So, could we hold those hands up one more time, please?
I think it's
1, 2,
unanimous.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 votes.
they should be by name. For the record, they have to be by name.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry to make your job so difficult.
Okay, Dan?
Josh Berg, yeah.
Yes.
You'll be able to.
Carla?
I need somebody that can really hear this shit.
He's taking a,
I have to take
An
you by
oral
name.
vote.
Your vote is yay or nay? Yay.
He has to record it.
Dee Dee?
Yay.
Steve? Yay. Bob's not voting. Of course, you're going to vote for yourself, right?
Yes, I'm.
And Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
Hearing.
I think we have
Josh.
enough votes.
hey, well,
Josh is here.
congratulations, Linda, you don't know what you're getting into.
He's here.
Josh?
Yes, Dennis.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, it's unanimous for Linda, thank you.
I think he had one online vote too up there.
Josh got it.
Oh,
The other,
do we know
She's-
Lisa? Welcome.
Hi, I'm Lisa, and I'm the Caulfield Neighborhood Association Vice Chair.
Oh, welcome. Lisa,
hello.
would you like to cast a vote?
She cannot,
She can't
It's just
because
CIC members.
she's not been officially
okay.
designated as a
She's not
CIC rep by the mayor.
Okay.
Yeah, Lisa, everyone who, we can talk about this later, but those who submitted applications will be appointed by the mayor at a later date, probably March or April. And that's when you'll start officially serving on the CIC.
Oh, so
Okay.
she's going to be a CIC member. Gotcha.
Okay, at this time, I'll take nominations for the vice chair.
Who's interested?
Look at me.
I'll nominate myself.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Linda.
Any other nominations? Okay, all those in favor of Josh Kaiser being the vice chair, please raise your hands and leave them up so Dennis can record them.
Dan,
Checks by
Will,
everybody that you just,
Denise,
I think it's
Carla.
the same unanimous group.
Steve, and then Bob, and Linda, and Sarah, and myself.
Yeah.
Yes, 3, 6, 9, 10, yes. Welcome, Vice Chair.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, at this time, I'll take nominations for the secretary.
I nominate Dennis.
I'll second that.
I third that.
Do I have to
Any
count?
other,
I'll second that if no one else has.
any other, I think it's been third and fourth.
Let's make it fifth.
Any
can we
other
hear from the
nominations?
candidate? Are you interested?
Well, yes, I'll do it, but I was hoping somebody might step up,
Okay.
but
Give us fair warning, in 2 years, your term will be up.
okay.
This, the one you're being
This
elected to
is
now.
my last run at it.
Well, you could run again, but
Oh,
just give us fair warning if
Oh,
you wish somebody else to do it in the future. Okay, all those in favor of Dennis Anderson being the secretary, please raise your hands and keep them raised so Dennis can record the results.
it might be a punishment.
I'm wondering now.
Okay,
In which
thank
case,
you all.
I am sorry, Dennis.
Okay. Okay, now, congratulations to all the new officers and our existing Dennis Anderson. I'll be getting with our new chair
Condolences to Dennis.
privately to kind of go through some of the things I've done to help me along and make you alert on some of the pitfalls that may be out there. And
This pitfall?
yeah, some of the pitfalls. People try to get in our meetings that really shouldn't be there. Gotta look out.
There's the button.
But it's a very rewarding experience. You'll enjoy yourself. And you'd be surprised how many people want to come to our meetings, since you have to make the agenda.
So you'll have to pass the mallet.
Yeah, well, I
Gavel.
like I've told them all
Yeah,
before,
right, sorry.
that I can take bribes.
Okay.
Okay, the next item is approval of the minutes. I think we can combine them all, November 1st, 21, December 6th, 21, and December 4th of 23. Does anybody have any comments or corrections to any of those minutes?
Very good.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
I will second that.
Okay, it's been motioned and seconded to approve the minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, they've been approved. Staff liaison updates. Anna?
Back to me. So if you weren't able to grab a staff report, grab one on your way out. I'll be sure to send it out too, because I think it's always helpful to have this information written down. Trail news, e-trail news went out for February, and within that, February and March neighborhood association meetings were listed on there. The trail news for the spring quarter is expected to go out in March, so make sure to keep your eyes open for that, and there will be updated neighborhood association meeting information in that as well. If there is any information, well, I'll get to that later once we get to the website. I reached out to Hillendale and Elyville about this already, but Patty Nelson, who is one of the project managers and project engineers for the city of Oregon City, is having, presenting about the Malala 24-inch transmission main, the large water pipe. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of this project, but Patty Nelson would like to present about the project on March 4th. 2024. So I plan on talking about this with the new CIC chair, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware. So she'll present to the CIC in March, and then to Hillendale hopefully in April, and then in Elyville in May. Postcard mailers. I know that this has been a hot topic of discussion. And so since I started, I reached out to a variety of different companies, printing companies, and I found a cheaper rate potentially. The City of Oregon City is in the process of creating a year-long contract with Eagle Web Press. This is the same organization, the same company that prints Trail News, and has been for a very long time. They're based out of Salem, and Buell's Impressions Printing currently charges us $60, not $60, that would be insane, 60 cents per postcard. And hopefully we can be able to sign a contract with Eagle Web Press to be able to solidify 48 cents per postcard to be sent out.
Oh, nice job, Hannah.
That's quite a savings.
So yeah, hopefully that's, like I said, it's not signed and sealed yet. We're dealing with some postage permits and things of that such, and them being based out in Salem, but I don't anticipate the price being over 50 cents per postcard, so there definitely, regardless, will hopefully still be savings. So that's very exciting.
I have a silly question. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that you've gone back to Buell's because they are local to say, hey, we got this rate.
They might not have the margins.
Yeah,
I'm just
the
curious.
big difference is Eagle Web Press has a like they have a sister organization, so they do larger printing with Eagle Web Press, and then I forget their sister organization, so they save some money on card stock, I believe, and on paper, actual, like the supply of paper. And then they do have some connections with postage, and they told me they have like a slightly lower rate for postage as well. The one thing that will be written in the contract that is that if postage rates do increase, which it just did, I believe by 2% a while ago, then that's something that we'll have to, move with. That's not something that they'll be able to make up for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that for just a little small card then?
Yes, that is. And that is, thank you for reminding me. Right now, postcards are sent out on 4.25 by 5.5 postcards. If we switch over to Eagle Web Press, it'll be 4 by 5.5. So it'll be a quarter of an inch difference within the postcards, which I figured would be worth the savings.
You were mentioning the text is going to be a little bit bigger because I think people who have a hard time seeing the text was super small. The other thing with the cardstock, a lot in my neighborhood, they mix them with the coupons, so a lot of people end up throwing them out, because a lot of our post office men are by foot or women. Do you see any difference with that whatsoever?
I don't know, like, we can't unfortunately control what they combine, processing the mail and actually delivering the mail with. And then what was your first part of your question?
You were saying that the text is bigger, is that correct?
No.
Okay.
So the actual design of the postcard is based off of each neighborhood association. So you have the control to be able to change that. It just is going to be in black ink. The actual postcard size will be smallened by 1/4 of an inch. So I don't anticipate that having any type of major impact on the actual size and the visualization of your postcards.
Could the neighborhoods specify the color of the paper?
With the contract that we have at right now, I've asked for them to continue to do fluorescent colors. But if we do, my guess would be, based off of the conversations that we had, if we did have neighborhood associations choose a color, then it would be more expensive. Because part of us being able to get this deal, and it was the same with Buell's too, is that they get to use whatever fluorescent, colorful cardstock they have available.
But we would be able to choose a different color than just black and white,
Yes.
black on white.
It won't be, it'll be fluorescent colors, so like the colors that have been out now, like orange, green, it'll be those same colors. It'll never be white, but it will always be black ink.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a question here. Where are they going to submit the cards for? What post office are they going to deliver the cards to?
So that's what we're in the process of figuring out, whether they will they will use their permit and they'll be mailing them out from Salem, or whether we will use the city permit and they'll be mailed out from Oregon City.
Everything goes back to Portland, but yes.
Yeah.
You can get better rates by doing a 3-week delay on delivery. But if you deliver them like the Oregon City or Portland post office, it's like same, first class mail for delivery. So that's how we got the big colored brochures for cheaper than the 4x5s by doing the 3-week delivery. You have to go with a local person that delivers them to like the Portland post office or Oregon City or Salem or both.
Okay. Are there any other questions about postcards? Not the last. CIC renewals. Denise emailed me, thank you very much. There's a handful of you have already submitted your applications. For those of you who have, I have those, thank you. For those of you who haven't, make sure to get in those CIC applications as soon as possible. If I don't see an application this week, I'll be sure to submit an email to each and every one of you. That way you have that individual link to be able to access the application online. And if you want that directly, you can always go ahead and email me. But within the bylaws of the CIC, it's important that you remember that you have to have documentation of your neighborhood association's nomination. Hinlandale has gotten me theirs. Denise just sent me over McLaughlin's.
I think you have mine.
I have your application, but I don't have your neighborhoods association nomination. So that would be like meeting minutes. But that's because Elyville hasn't had a neighborhood association meeting yet. So I know that, I think Elyville is the one that's on the books that'll be the last meeting. So I'm aware of that. I don't expect you guys to be able to get anything in before then. But if we can get those in by March, then hopefully by the end of March or April, the beginning of April, we could be able to have the mayor appoint everybody, and we can officially have our 2024 CIC members. Any questions on that? No. Website updates. So I figured the best way to be able to show you this, let me share my screen for those who are online.
Thank you.
Touch this much, my hair right there, Mike.
Yeah, the document can just be the meeting minutes, whoever is recording your meeting minutes, or it can be a document signed by your secretary saying that these people were nominated. Yeah, it's just written within your bylaws that there has to be a neighborhood association nomination for your CIC representatives. They have to be nominated by the neighborhood association, so we have to have some type of documentation that that happened. Okay, so we're on the Oregon City website. I don't know if any of you know how to easily access your neighborhood association's webpage, but you can go to our community. You can scroll down to neighborhood associations. And then there's some basic information on the neighborhood associations within the city of Oregon City, and then each individual neighborhood has their own individual webpage. Some of the updates that I want you all to make sure that you're aware of is the members. I think I have all of the information correct up to this date because I know that everybody did new nominations for, yes, Denise? Okay. Okay. So those are like, there's so many different, the way that Civic Engage works, there's multiple different widgets is what they called. So information is stored in multiple different ways. So it's really helpful for me, for you guys to inspect your pages to catch the little things that I don't always catch, like Denise just did.
So on our individual websites, we will have our copy of each individual neighborhood's bylaws and meeting minutes. Okay.
We can. I'll get to that at the end when we talk about records. So making sure that all of the members are up to date, making sure that your meeting information is right. Each individual web page has their own link to be able to sign up for the individual email subscriber list for your specific neighborhood association. And then a new feature that we're going to be adding, that I've added to some of the neighborhood associations already, is for them to have their own individual calendar. So the city of Oregon City has a larger calendar, but I am creating each individual calendar for each neighborhood association. So right now we can see that McLaughlin has a meeting in March. I have it.
This page.
And in April. And in May.
So if we have some special event come up, we call you and you can get it put on that calendar.
Yes, so I have direct access to be able to edit all of this. So any information that you have that you want updated, like recently McLaughlin, I believe too, Caulfield switched their meeting to virtual. So that was an email that I was able to send out. And then through this too, it could be a news flash that I could post on your webpage. Another feature by this, which is different than the emails, is you can have people get notified on any changes that are happening within your neighborhood association calendar. And they can sign up for text and they can sign up for email. So that's a new feature where not only can you have people receiving emails through MailChimp, but you could also have them sign up for text specifically. I would not encourage for you to have people sign up for emails through this because they're gonna get double emails. What I would encourage is for you to have people sign up for text alerts through this. And they can do that by going to the calendar, clicking on the notify me, and then there's multiple different calendars, news flashes, and then they can click the McLaughlin. I'm not signed in, so we're not gonna be able to do that. Well, or maybe I am. No, I'm not. That's okay. And then you just click the phone icon to be able to sign up for text messages or the email icon to be able to sign up for emails. Lastly, let's talk about records. Oregon Records Management System is where Oregon City stores all of our public records. And I have the ability to post any record that you hand over from your neighborhood association and be able to make it public through the Oregon Records Management System. it's very difficult for people to try to actively search through what they call web drawer, which is the public access point where people can go in and search for public records through Oregon City's platform. So what I made sure to do is create a web link that directly connects to your specific neighborhood association's file within the public records of ORMS. The kind of bad thing about this is that the records are kind of displayed in no organized manner, and there's not a way for me to easily edit that. I can make sure that all of the records that I put in are in an organized manner. But so any records that you have from before 2019, you could send to me if you wanted them to become public, if they aren't already. You can send to me and I can upload them onto ORMS. For more of the recent records, I think Elyville has some. I have uploaded them directly to the website. That's way it's easier for people to access. So you can see here, Elyville has recognizing the renaming of Barclay Hills, and then it's also organized by year. So you can be able to go into 2022 and see all of the meeting minutes or agendas. This information is really kind of sparse. Like, it's not cohesive based off of the neighborhood associations, what years are available. So if there are documents that you want to make sure that the public have access to, check the website, check the web drawer link on your specific web page, and then reach out to me if there are documents that you notice that aren't accessible, and I can make sure to get those uploaded. Does that make sense? And I will be sure, Bob, to upload the CIC bylaws onto the website. Yeah, you're very welcome. Any questions?
How long does it take to edit the webpage or add something to our web pages?
I mean, it depends on the other workload that I have, but it could easily be uploaded within a week. I don't see it taking any longer than that.
You've been very busy.
I have. I like staying busy, though. So it's been very good. I'm very happy to be here with all of you.
We're happy to have you too.
Yeah, we
I
are.
got a question.
Yes.
On the, are our minutes covered by the record retention laws of the state?
That is a very good question.
I don't think it is.
I will ask Jacob, he's like our go-to he's our city recorder.
Have him check with the attorneys, because since the neighborhood associations are not an entity of the city,
Yeah.
that could be a sticky wicket.
Yeah, and I know that the city of Oregon City and itself, we have a variety of CIC minutes that have just been lost in the wind. And that's something that I'm working on to be able to have our transcriptionists look over those YouTube videos, rewrite those minutes, but that's also a cost too. So we're trying to be careful because the current vendor that we have, there's others that might make themselves more available in the future. So it's just kind of a as-we-go situation, but that is something that I'm actively working on, making sure that we have those CIC minutes recovered. There's a couple more things. Email subscribers we talked about earlier with the new contacts. That's something that I can provide for you every month on how many new contacts that you have comparatively to the month before. And then hopefully we can see that start to increase. And then the last thing is I've done Zoom trainings with a couple of the neighborhood association chairs. If that's something that your neighborhood association is interested in, is getting to know the platform of Zoom through the city's specific Zoom account, I'm more than happy to walk you through that. It's just small things like making sure that you hit the record button, troubleshooting if you're not able to see people's chats, just small things that I'm more than happy to sit down with you and work through. And that's all I have.
Hey. Thank you, Hannah.
Yes.
Does anybody have any questions about the CIC budget that you were?
I think Josh has his hand up. Something's trying to
No,
scratch
that's
his
the
nose.
cursor in the middle of his face.
Okay, let's see, our next item then will be the roundtable. And I'll start with Park Place, Steve.
Oh, man.
Surprise, huh?
Yeah, I guess I'm on. So Park Place will have, our next meeting on February 26th, which is the fourth Monday, because the third Monday, historically, we have not been able to get a room. So, because of the holiday. So currently, we have scheduled our new chief of police, and I'm still waiting to hear back from any one of 3 CERT groups that I've reached out to, none of which seem to be returning my emails. So hopefully I can get that in the next week before I leave for Hawaii. We had our Zoom meeting in January. And I think the extent of that was to nominate Bob and me as our CIC reps. Yep.
And I'll still be around, you can't get rid of me yet.
So, good.
Okay, next would be McLaughlin, Denise.
We just had a, is this on?
It is.
Yeah. Oh, that's what's wrong. Okay. There we go. We just had a steering committee meeting, and we are in the process of forming some subcommittees. One would be web development, and another is retail, and another is events. And excited about the city website. That's going to be helpful. We do want to join the Spring Forward event. We have a new chairperson, Tim Powell. He's right here. He's also going to be our new CIC person, replacing Will.
I'm bowing out.
Yep, that's all I have.
I think we're covering the
Will,
same
did you have
things.
anything for us?
No, I've enjoyed my time immensely, but I am feeling like I am spread too thin. And as somebody put it politely this weekend, too many of my tabs are open and I need to close some of them. And yeah, it's bad. So,
Well, we thank you
yeah,
muchly
and
for your,
I'm hoping to get maybe involved with the parks. That's my true passion, so I'll figure it
oh,
out.
great.
So,
That's what I like to hear.
yeah.
Hillendale, Josh.
Well, we had our, we had our general meeting last month, and that was a little interesting. We had been meeting at the bus barn, and the district asked us to move over to Gardner, and so we did go and meet over there. However, there was a meeting of another something else going on kind of at the same time, butting up to ours, that ran over, so they had to stick us kind of in a different area. So I think we'll work into that new deal, but yeah, it wasn't optimal. We did, however, have Vance from Public Works come in and talk to us about winter preparedness, and he had some wonderful information. So I would definitely have all you guys, when those kind of times come up, or ahead of those times, definitely engage with Public Works and have them to your neighborhood meetings. It was pretty awesome info. Let's see. We were able to get the police department to provide us with some crime statistics for our neighborhood. Nothing printed or published per se yet, but they did bring some numbers and showed us some numbers, and so that was pretty interesting to see. So if any other neighborhoods are looking for any of that information, you might want to discuss that with your liaison, and definitely have them bring that with you, or with them to your meeting. Other than that, we have a steering committee meeting tomorrow, and our next general meeting will be in April.
Sarah, did you have anything to add?
Only that, yeah, we did have to move to a different location, and we also we normally go on the first Tuesday of every month. And because we're tied in with the school district for where we hold our meetings, they weren't open. So we weren't, the day after New Year's is probably not going to be well attended anyway. But the combination of having to move the date and having to move the place, we only got one soul coming to our meeting. And it was great. Vance Walker is awesome. He put on a great dog and pony show for all he's worth, and it was great. Ask him to your meetings. He was really good. And yeah, the police did get the breakdown by neighborhood that we've all been asking for, so they can do it now or always could, and then they just did. I don't really understand why we haven't had this before, but we got it. And Hillendale, because we're tied in with so much retail and everything, our stats are just awful. We don't look good. Tower Vista had 5 incidents. We had how many, John? I don't remember, but it's a lot. Anyway.
Well, we also encompass the jail as well.
Yes, the jail also. That's another prized possession of Hillendale. So it was, good news, bad news. But it was, we kind of had the meeting in a little wide spot in the hallway because the room we were supposed to, it was kind of a mess, actually. So I'm going to talk to Suze a little bit more about our next plan because it didn't work out so well this time. But anyway.
The other thing to mention too about Gardner is when we did go to do the meeting, the building was completely secured, so you couldn't get in. And the call box, there's nobody on the other end of the call box to let you in. So we were kind of up to our contact, being around to let us in. And eventually we did get into it and whatnot. But we definitely have some things to improve with them on how that all works.
Yeah. Okay. Hillendale out.
Okay, thank you. Let's see, the next one, Elyville, Carla.
Our next meeting, we're having a steering next week, next Tuesday. We have our general meeting is March 12th. I know we're going to do it elections. We have a steering though to plan that next week on our agenda, and we're probably condensing our meetings more to every few months rather than every other month. Because of the attendance since COVID, it hasn't been as good. But, hopefully, we're going to get some great speakers and have some ideas. We have some ideas pending, and that's it on my end. Do you have anything, Dee Dee?
We've been actively working at a Elyville beautification because of the building and everything's getting so wide and close to the street. We're losing all of our trees along Malala Avenue. I don't know if you've noticed that, but all of a sudden, when you're driving to Malala, all you see is the telephone lines. So we've actively planted poppy seeds around. We'll see if they bloom. They didn't pop up from last spring. We did another planting in fall. Cross our fingers. If not, the ground is so horribly poisoned that not even golden poppies can grow. And that means that's pretty darn poisoned. But we shall see. We're doing some of the empty lots. We've also made requests to our public works if we could have some more, and I think it's called street furniture. That means extra garbage cans, maybe an extra garden planter, and when the city is thinking about putting up the flowers that line all the way up through Main Street and up 7th Street, they hit Elyville once and then they skip all the way down to Beaver Creek. So we got skipped over. I'm gonna ask for more flowers on our corners, our stores like Fred Meyer's and Albertsons, and I'm not sure about Albertsons, but Danielson Thriftway, or not Danielson's Thriftway anymore, that dates me. But you know which corners I'm talking about, from the Buy Mart and all over. All of those corners have 4 sets of flowers. Our Oregon City canned food has 0. Our Plaid Pantry has 0. Our corners, even, busy corners, we don't have any flowers. We want some flowers. We want some furniture. We want some prettiness up in our neighborhood.
I do have to give props to Grocery Outlet. Dan was wonderful. Today, there was 2 shopping carts ditched on my street from Malala, and we're ways in, so I have a suspicion who keeps on doing it. Dan came in the afternoon and picked up both of his grocery carts, and he's very professional and very nice, so.
And they do a lot for our community. They deserve some flowers on their corner. Take that to the commission, Adam. Thank you very much.
Okay, Kanema, Linda.
We're having our meeting on the 15th, and we have a new chair. Ron Beislein is the new chairman of Kanema Neighborhood Association. And at our meeting, we're going to be having Hannah will speaking, and John Lewis will be speaking, and we're meeting at the libraries. And we're also working on getting a letter out for the neighborhood, letting them know of our existence of the neighborhood association, and also to hand out to new neighbors as they come in. So when we get that done, I'll share it with the rest of you. Some of it will just pertain to Kanema, but it's sometimes easier to copy than to reinvent the wheel. And we will be getting the QR code on this as well. So we're working on that to get a letter out.
Dennis.
Ditto.
Okay, ditto. Okay. Let's see, then we have, did I miss any of the neighborhoods?
Yeah, I've got,
Caulfield.
Oh, Caulfield, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, I did.
No, is this thing working now?
Jumped
Okay,
over Elyville.
we're doing good. We've got 40 to 50 people coming to our meetings. We've got a lot of construction and stuff going, so a lot of people want to know about the construction in the school and the streets and the traffic and the parking around the high school. And so we get the police department come every meeting. The mayor was there one meeting ago, and drew a big crowd. I think we had that meeting over 50 people. I think Adam was at the meeting also. So getting a lot of attention. We're getting our people in mainly. We originally started out with the colored postcards. That got us our first attention, but now we're putting out little 2-foot by 3-foot signs, and we put them in high traffic areas, and we're making the letters big, not a lot of information. In fact, we've got a meeting and some catch item to get them there, and that's working as well as the postcards. And we're only putting out four of those type of signs, but they're in all the high traffic areas, and so we're getting extremely good results and getting people to know what's going on. So that's about it for. But
Tell us more about your signs.
I was going to bring some tonight, but I was late, so we're getting printed at Buell's, and they're $30. They're 2-foot by 3-foot, and you got to have, when you have fast traffic, you have to have just big super letters, so they look at one time and bang, they've got it. We got the thing you can scan and get to the web page and things like that. If you get into like the local area where you got slower traffic, then we put up signs that have more information. And we actually, before last meeting, we actually had 6 signs out, because what we did is we used some of our signs, there's just generic signs that give the information for the meetings and stuff, and put it out so people know that the meetings are there. And I remember, I think 1 or 2 meetings ago, someone had an extra bunch of billboards, and boy, if we get those things spread around, or when people need them, they can borrow them or something to use them. Or the other thing that you could do, if you do a 2 by 3 foot sign, they have these little cheap metal posts. They're like $1 a piece. You put 2 of those things on there, and if you double side your sign, which would be another $15, would be like $45 at Buell's.
Are you using your postcard budget on those?
Well, no, we're using our budget for from the city, yes.
Your postcard budget?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let everybody know that Emily had offered those extras, and it was like a bead of honey, and they have disappeared. So she can't track them down right now. So don't count on those if you're looking for those.
Yeah, we put in a request.
Yeah, we did too, and
Okay.
she
All
can't
right.
seem to track them down. So,
All right, thanks.
yeah.
That sounds great, Dan. You're getting good results.
Yeah.
It's working, I
Fantastic
think.
results.
And also the city mailing list. The city has a mailing list, and they had, I think there was 900 people on the mailing list that they sent out to. And the stuff that's also, we were in the city's little magazine type thing. So we need to be using, this gal across here has helped us so much in getting things done, and we need to get this information together and have it all happening. And it looks like she's really putting it together with all the web
awesome.
pages. And this is a wonderful gal. Thank you.
Okay, Adam.
Yes, so first of all, thank you for having me at your meeting, Dan. I've been trying to make it out to as many neighborhood meetings as I can as they fit in with my evening schedules, and so it was nice to join there and hear from the mayor. First of all, just a huge shout out to our Public Works Department and all they've had to deal with the last few weeks with the ice storm. I think they handled it very well, and I hope that most of us were spared from having to get out of the house or do anything unsafe that week. But I'm very proud of our Public Works Department for how they handled that. At the beginning of the year, the first weekend in January, the legislative subcommittee that's taking a second look, we can hope, at tolling, hosted a hearing at Gladstone High School. It was for the communities of Gladstone, Oregon City, and West Lynn. And so I attended there and gave some comments. It was a great turnout, and now we just wait and see and hope that they take our words to heart and hopefully do something about it. The mayor and Commissioner Mitchell also spoke, and I thought that it was just a great opportunity for us to finally get some things off our chest that we felt have not actually been listened to up until this point. Super excited. Today was the first day for our Assistant City Manager, Alex Rains. And so I'm sure there will be plenty of opportunities, and I'm hoping there will be plenty of opportunities for you all to meet her in the coming weeks and months as she gets adjusted and acclimated to this position. It's interesting. I've had run-ins and conversations with a few city managers from across the state, and they've come up to me and said, well, I hear that you guys snagged Alex from Scappoose, and how lucky we are. And so I'm very excited. I have very high expectations, and I know that this is going to be a great investment for our city. So I'm looking forward to that. Tomorrow, or on Wednesday, we have a meeting. Part of that is hearing from the Homeless Solutions Coalition of Clackamas County. This is something that I have been pushing for, is an opportunity for us as commissioners to hear from this organization about what it is that is actually being planned in downtown. This is something that was talked about earlier this evening, and just like you, we have a lot of questions. Since this isn't an official city thing, we can only go based off of what we've heard from them directly and things that we've heard through the grapevine. And so hopefully this will be a great opportunity for us and for you all to hear more and get questions answered about this project, because we definitely have a lot of concerns just as you do. And then lastly, it was already brought up at our meeting on Wednesday, we'll also be discussing the DMO, which is a destination management organization. Economic development is something that's very important to this city commission. And for me personally, if any of you were to ask me, my biggest thing is the fact that instead of increasing taxes on our residents, expanding the tax base and getting more businesses in Oregon City is a great way to make sure that we have a fiscally sustainable budget and operation. And so getting some more small businesses businesses here in Oregon City is something that I'm very excited about, and being able to market our many incredible assets that we have in this community already, that are already here, is going to be a great opportunity for this city. So looking forward to it.
Thank you. From my end, Hannah, would you arrange for me to address the city commission to give them an update on last year's CIC activities?
Yes. I don't think that that's going to be, it'll be, when's your meeting following? I'll have to look at the calendar.
Sometime within the next 3 months.
Yeah,
I mean, it'd be-
most definitely within the next 3 months, but not this upcoming on Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'd want to give that address as the outgoing CIC chair with your permission, Linda. Okay. And then, let's see here. For any of you that watch the planning commission meetings, I won't be at the next meeting. I'm having some heart surgery, and so that kind of takes precedence over.
I mean, you're not going to just show up 3 days after your heart surgery like you did your hip replacement?
I'm a tough old bird, but I ain't that tough.
You're not going to have someone call in on the cell phone for you, Bob?
Yeah, right, yeah.
Adam?
So it's not a serious heart, not open heart or anything like that. I've got a little valve in there that's fluttering away that shouldn't be.
Clean up the act, eh?
Gotta clean up the mess, yeah. Anybody else for?
I have one
Dee
thing.
Dee, yes.
Hey, Adam, since you're very close with the Homeless Coalition, would you suggest an alternative location? The Nautilus spot up on top of the hill that's right walking distance to the college and right next to a giant shopping centers and lots of facilities and right up by our county buildings. That is a huge, giant empty spot.
Well, I've never actually had an opportunity to have an open conversation with the Homeless Solutions Coalition, so I'm really
I'm sorry. I
excited.
thought you said you were in favor of something you were working with them. So I'm sorry.
No, we're hoping to be able to work with them because up until this point, we haven't been able to have an open dialogue with them.
I'm sorry. I
And
got it mixed up.
I think a couple months ago, I relayed to you that the fact that they had applied for county funds through the Metro Housing Bond is something that took us by surprise, and I had to wait until I heard from our Metro counselor to be informed that this was something that was happening, and so, but yeah, and as it relates to alternative locations, I absolutely agree with you, and one place that I have in mind personally is the Red Soils campus where all of the county buildings are located, and if our county commissioners keep ignoring this problem, then maybe if they're more closer to the topic, then they'll be able to address it better. But it's also, in my mind, a better location. And but it sounds like at this point, the only thing we have is to listen and hopefully give feedback that can be responded to.
Okay, and then I would like to just thank everybody for your support for me for the last 4 years. It's been an enjoyable experience, somewhat challenging at times. I keep thinking about that budget issue. And, but it's been very rewarding, and thank you very much for your participation in the CIC. And this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you for your service, Bob.
Yeah.